Good afternoon. I am with Group 2, and we will be presenting the Gentex Corporation for consideration for an LBO. My name is Travis. I am an MBA MS Finance student and graduating this spring. I am joined with my teammates Adiola, who is an MS Finance student graduating next spring, Michael, who's Finance, and Ahmed, who is also Finance, who are both graduating in the fall. The deal that we are considering is with an automotive parts manufacturer named Gentex. It is a US-based corporation currently trading at roughly $29 a share. We are making an offer of $35.10 per share at a market capitalization of $8.459 billion, doing roughly a 50-50 debt to equity deal. This translates to an EBITDA multiple of 16.1x. Our operational plan with this company is to expand the existing product offerings of the sensor and control aspects of the automated vehicle line, demerge the fire protection and aerospace divisions, and penetrate the several remaining global market opportunities for their existing mirror line. This opportunity works out to being a 23.5% IRR with a cash on cash of 2.9x and a 5-year exit. Ideally, we have 2 candidates identified as strategic buyers for this exit. The history of the Gentex Corporation was founded in 1974 as a fire protection product. They are actually one of the original designers and patenters of the smoke detector and many of the fire safety products within the industry. They, though, in the 80s transitioned into more automotive line as their revenues began to decline in the fire business. They now are one of the leading manufacturers of rear view and side view mirror products in Europe and North America, with in some places significant global share. They are based out of Zeeland, Michigan, with subsidiaries around the world. They right now have 3 primary product lines: their automotive segment, which is around their sensors and mirrors, their fire protection products, which are generally commercial fire alarms, and their third division, which is commercial airliner dimmable windows. Currently, they generate $1.73 billion in revenue with a greater than 90% market share in this mirror business. They are manufacturers for all the top car companies and are heavily tied with the industry. The only market that they are not currently heavily invested in is to China, and this is due to existing import control laws and entry requirements due to state business laws. They are currently traded on the NASDAQ at GNTX with a market cap of $7 billion today and an EBITDA of $508 million. 98% of all their revenue comes from the automotive side. This will give you insight into what our proposal is and why we see a value with this company. Overall, the investment merits of this company revolve around 4 aspects of the business. The first being the cash flows. Due to the fact that mirrors are a national requirement for almost every country in the world, they are required on all vehicles. And outside of China, Gentex holds a dominant market position of greater than 90% in almost every major manufacturing car company. It is double the EBITDA margin of its competitors due to the nature of its competitive advantage. It has grown heavily into the automated vehicle line, developing its sensor modules. We have seen CAGR growth in this area of greater than 15% for the next 5 years. And due to the fact that the leading manufacturers of automotive vehicles, 8 out of 10 are already existing clients of Gentex. Next is their positive culture. All management individuals within their company have worked for greater than 20 years, and they have a higher Gallup average employee engagement than other companies out there. And with their half-century tied to Zeeland, Michigan, there is a great community response and a culture that has built within the company that will be of great value. The fourth aspect is the market outlook. Due to changes within the automotive sector and the rise of EV vehicles, electric vehicles, we're seeing a CAGR growth of greater than 9% over the next 5 years. And due to low used inventories, this is going to lead to a large expansion of new car manufacturing where Gentex excels. Currently, the valuation is based on, as of the last week of April, $29.35 a share, dropping from an all-time high of $37.52. The market cap currently is $6.89 billion with a 15 EBITDA multiple at $508.9 million. Currently paying a 1.64% dividend quarterly. What we are proposing is going with an offer of $35.10 a share, which translates to an $8.459 billion. The high premium is in line with the analyst forecast for existing growth and the expansion of the automotive vehicle line. Our proposal is financing it through a $2.5 billion term loan and a $1.5 billion in subordinated debt, giving a cumulative debt multiple of 7.9x against EBITDA. We would require $4.251 billion in equity to be able to finance the remainder of the deal. There is about 3% being financed through cash on hand. Overall, the execution of this will be over 88% of all shares are currently held in brokerage institutions and has a high daily volume trading. In addition, the founders' board own less than 5% of shares, and there are no covenants against buyouts. The opportunity for proposing this and acquiring enough shares for control are a reasonable prospect on this venture. Looking now at the historic and forecasted revenues and incomes, what we can see is that our goal with this transaction is to not grow the multiples and to maintain EBITDA margin. What we can see is that we plan on utilizing their explosive growth potential in the car industry and the automotive automated side of the industry while maintaining the margin. Right now, they are selling total sales at $1.73 billion, and our intention, our base case, is to grow that to $3.187 million. That translates to increasing our EBITDA by nearly 90% and growing our revenues by almost double. This is due to the fact of high growth potential as outlined earlier in the automotive and also automated vehicle lines, which we are well positioned to take. Another method that we're going to be using to grow the company is we're going to look at selling off this small two divisions of fire protection and aerospace. We estimate that we'll be able to obtain $169.9 million from the demerger. To expand the IP portfolio to make the company more competitive in the automated vehicle line, we plan on taking $115 million of that sale and utilizing it towards specifically purchasing several identified companies for their IP and market share into the automated lines. This will give us a large enough expansion of the IP to build a stronger case for building an automated vehicle line. Now, all of this is heavily based on one core assumption, which is we do not expect a global economic contraction. Due to that fact, we are going forward with the assumption that we will be experiencing high levels of inflation, but we will still be seeing economic growth globally. The returns in this case are based upon the three case scenarios where we see on base 23.5% at a 16.1 multiple. The IR spread works out to roughly 20.7 to 30.4, barring the worst case scenario, which translates to 5.8. Our cash on hand is targeted at 2.9x with an exit at year 15 with a $15 billion market cap. Now, we will have at that point $12.1 billion in equity, and we have identified two key candidates, Mother and Sumi Systems and Magna International. These companies are large enough to be able to have sufficient leverage to purchase our company and would fit well within their product lines and current product offerings. There is a potential for an IPO offer here, but the exit strategy would be much longer and take a more long drawn out approach, which would affect our IRR. Now, there are three aspects of due diligence we need to examine within this company to ensure its viability. The first is the long-term prospects of the aerospace division. When they originally designed these windows, it was thought that this line of production was going to be the new revolutionary windows utilized in all commercial and private jets. The challenge, though, was that in the end, it was only utilized on the 787 Boeing liner, which stopped production in mid-2020. They have attempted to sell these products to Airbus and to the new upcoming Boeing 777X. Though there is no clear public information around closing these deals or what the revenue forecasts would look, the key is going to be find out, is there potentially a market or an opportunity that Gentex is not pursuing, which would justify not selling off the division. Second, the Chinese market entry. Currently, they are not in China, and it's an $821 million market. The challenge, though, is that right now, the equipment is manufactured in Japanese factories, which have import restrictions into the Chinese automotive market. The two predominant players within the Chinese market are both state entities with connections to leading party members. This would present a challenge of doing a forced market entry or even doing an acquisition. There may be other ways into exporting into China or licensing, but it needs to be explored, as that would be a game changer for the company to be able to enter that market with this product line. Third is the sensor IP portfolio. Right now, Gentex has a strong IP portfolio in sensors. The challenge, though, that is being presented is it the right technology, and does the acquisitions that have been identified by the leveraged buyout complement this portfolio, and what could be holding back their penetration into this market? They have already invested approximately $54 million over the last 4 years building this offering. There is great potential for our market growth, but it is a crux of the core deal that we are proposing. Overall, our recommendation to the board is that we should proceed forward with making an offer of $35.10 to trigger the consideration, and offer no more than $38.70 to prevent return erosion. The challenge with this is going to be being able to sell off Gentex Aerospace Division and Fire Division and utilizing that cash sale to acquire additional portfolio of IP growth for the sensor and control business. At the same time, we are strongly recommending that we retain the management currently in place. It is well respected within the automotive industry, has deep familiarization with the industry, and has a background in acquiring smaller companies within that industry. They are perfectly suited for this undertaking, and I would strongly advise we keep them. Now, are there any remaining questions?